of last time?
We had, as I recall, we had retreated from the goblin camp, made it back to the ship in one piece, and then floated back around to dive into its ear, wherein we saw this room that had a mimic of gold, a pile of gold mimic that we did not escape from entirely. We managed to pull free of it, but it still is alive. So.
Yep, it's still in the corner. Yep, cool. Raffin. Yeah, alright. From when you guys were looking at the camp earlier, you could see the fortress at the back of the camp.
Right.
So you have a very vague idea of kind of where you are in the fortress. If you slid down the right here, to the north of you would expect to be kind of the center of the fortress, and then if you go eastish, it would be deeper into the fortress.
Okay.
So, yep, there's and you arranged with the airship captain that if you guys make a smoke signal, he will maneuver the ship towards the smoke signal, so that you guys have some means of signaling him to, hey, come pick us up.
Right. Okay. So we're just free to explore it out then?
Yep.
Well, I'm not sure. What do we mean by toward the center as opposed to deeper in?
Pretty much, you kind of expect that this room is the southwestmost room
Okay,
of
gotcha.
the
Got it.
fortress. So everything else is either north or sort of east of you guys. So.
All right. I am thinking, well, I usually do this anyway, but I'm thinking perimeter and then the center.
Okay.
So, but let's just wander up toward the north exit and see what we can find.
As you pass through the doorway, you notice that embedded into the stonework is a purple gem, like a sapphire. It's an amethyst sort of stone.
Okay.
That looks to be very, very firmly fixed into the entryway there.
Yeah.
And it glitters faintly.
Okay.
Anyway.
Is there any? Neither of my guys actually know how to do magical things, but does Raffin? Can Raffin sort of toy with it, see what in the world it might do? If he were to.
I would presume that Raffin would have some small knowledge of items of magical nature. Sure. Yes.
Well, not magical, but if it rotates or turns or comes out.
Right. Yep. Yep. Sure. That sounds like something he would be
Right.
adept at
Okay.
checking out.
I
Sure.
would like to do what do you call that? The examine spell. The examine move.
Um,
The,
discern reality.
yes, I would like to do that.
Okay.
Which I need to remember how to do that. Wisdom. Raffin will use his Oso, whatever, wisdom.
Okay, cool. You get that.
And yeah, and
Awesome.
I'm thinking he'd ask about what is useful here to in regards to this gem. That's what he's
Yeah,
wondering.
yeah. There's nothing that seems to be very mobile about the stone. It seems to be very firmly fixed in place. It doesn't rotate or press or look like there's any movement
Okay.
in its mounting. Um, as he sort of pokes at it, though, it does kind of zap him warningly.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
these it looks like it does look like it was set in place at the time of this castle's construction.
So it's been here a while. It keeps people
Yes.
from poking at it and Okay. Well, I will ignore it for now
Okay,
and just
sounds good.
continue inward.
Yep. All right.
Bertok suggests this. He's like, "Yeah, you seem to be a little bit grabby. Knock it off."
Okay.
I'm gonna be right back. I need to run and get something.
Okay. All right.
Alrighty. Ooh.
Okay, cool. So, exploring northwards, you guys find a very twisting and winding passageway
I see that.
that has various nooks and crannies and so forth in it.
Oh, just the passage
and-
itself. Okay.
Yep. And that will lead you to, as soon as I find reveal again. A very large hallway.
Okay. While in the passage, is there any other things we can possibly discern realities about? Like anything we want to examine the walls for, hidden stuff, that kind of thing.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. All right. As they walk in, Bertok will kind of duck in, look around. Does he see these four things standing here?
Yes. If he peers out carefully, he would see them,
Yes.
and they would not see him. So,
All right. He will back up
yeah.
and run into Raffin, and Raffin will kind of stumble a little bit. Hopefully, he didn't just make a bunch of noise.
Yeah, make a
Defy.
dexterity check on that. Phew. Nope, you're safe. You're safe.
Raffin light-footedly hops and skips and dances through every little pebble and bit of gravel on the pathway in the tunnel, and manages to back up from Bertok without a single noise. Bertok boggles.
Alright.
Bertok boggles in amazement at his dexterous skills. And then they cluster around this doorway and kind of peer out, crane their neck and peer around the corner.
Yep, this is a large hallway. The ceiling is lost in shadow. There's a kind of a gray light in this room because there's windows high up on the ceiling that let in a little bit of light.
Okay.
The goblins have put up banners of their black hand around the hall, and there are guards that are patrolling the hallway here, just kind of milling around. They don't seem to have seen you yet. And in the very end of the hallway, there is a large structure or sculpture.
Yes, I see
That,
this.
yes. And to your left, towards the west, there is a heavy set of doors that are ajar.
All right.
That you would think lead back out to the goblin camp.
Yes. What can we make of all these openings in the wall as well? Are they hallways leading off, like cloister hallways,
Yes.
or are they windows?
Yes, they
Okay.
are.
Okay.
They are hallway. Let me expand it just a little more here.
All right.
So yeah, these passageways are very similar to the one you just came through. They all have a purple gem embedded above them.
All right.
And they all seem to lead to the same twisting, winding corridors. So,
All right. All right. So these openings, these doorways, are not actually hidden. So people
nope,
could come
they
in
are.
from them at any point. All right.
Yep.
All right. Is Bertok able to tell that these are in fact Black Hand goblins standing here?
Yes.
Okay. He will motion to Raffin, and they, in hushed whispers, will consult their equipment to see what in the world we can do in order to start going to town on these guys. Because I believe Bertok is going to suggest, yeah, we totally want to. I am all for revenge. Let's just take out these guys.
These guys look like they have fairly sturdy armor on, and they are dragging heavy swords almost behind them. They almost can't lift them up. They're kind of dragging them
I will hope that is an
as they
advantage
walk
for me.
around the hall.
Right.
Yeah.
That will be my advantage. Sadly, Raffin doesn't have any sort of ranged weapon.
Oh no.
Well, he threw all his daggers at other things earlier.
Right.
And, of course, Bertok doesn't have a thing except for his flail. So, I am thinking I probably want... Do they have a sort of repeating pattern to their patrolling that we can maybe like sneak up behind them or wait till they come by?
Sure, make a discern reality about that.
All right. Bertok, wisdom, wisdom.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like they move in groups of two, and they circle. They kind of march around the perimeter of the hall, checking into the hallways as they walk around.
Ooh,
Um,
so it is likely they will spot us
eventually,
eventually.
yeah.
All right.
But these ones seem to be a little um, slothful in their patrolling. So you have a couple minutes until you think they will get to you. The first group will get to you.
Okay. The first group being whatever, the bottom two or the.
Yes,
Okay.
these two here.
All right. Okay. I would like to make a plan. As soon as they come by, Bertok will plan on taking the flail, trying to grab the ankle of the first one. Since it does seem that they're looking into all the passageways, they'll definitely look in here before they pass it by. So we have to go after the first one, get the ankle, and possibly grab him in, and you stab him, Raffin. And Raffin's like, okay, that sounds like a plan. I can be ready for that. And he readies his little hand dagger, jeweled hand dagger.
Okay. As expected, these two will come over. This one will peer in.
Mm-hmm. And ankle.
Ah, okay. Make a hack and slash against him.
Bertok.
Okay, yes.
Strength.
Wow.
Yeah.
He will totally not be expecting that. He will be dragged in, and his armor will clatter about him as he falls, and he'll hang on to his sword though.
Mm-hmm.
But roll for your damage.
Yeah. Okay. Crash.
Sorry.
Do I need to roll Raffin as well? Because Raffin's going to pounce on him from his hiding spot and try to stab the guy.
Okay, yeah. Let's just say that the hack and slash was just to tug him in. So
Okay.
that didn't do damage. So go Raffin.
All right. Hack and slash for Raffin. Yeah.
Great.
And he deals 2. I wanted that 9 back.
Do you have? I think that would count as a backstab if you wanted to do it.
Oh.
The extra damage on the backstab.
What do I have for backstab?
Raffin, where is your character sheet? Raffin,
I don't get into melee with them. I deal plus 1d6. On a 10 plus, choose 2 on a 7 to 9. Okay, I do want to deal my damage. And I do want to.
Okay.
And I will stay with melee with them so they can retaliate. 1d6.
Okay.
So, total of 8 damage.
Man. Okay, that stab is almost going to kill this goblin.
Nice.
6. So that's 8 damage total?
Yes.
Okay, so his armor is going to take some of it. But he's going to be pretty much coughing up blood by the time you guys are through with him. With almost the last of his strength, he's going to bring his sword around and slash at you, Raffin, because you stabbed him, and he hates you.
Yeah, I can deal with that.
Okay, 5 damage to Raffin. His huge sword comes up and slices into you, Raffin.
Okay. Raffin has 1 armor, so it's actually 4.
This other guard
that
will.
hurts.
This other guard will realize his companion has vanished and start to peer inquisitively into the passageway where his companion got yanked to.
Sure.
Okay, Bertok, what do you do?
Bertok is basically going to do the barbarian rage, and he will just simply jump on this downed goblin, elbow into the chest, and try to slam the butt of his flail handle into this guy's face or something like that. Finish him off.
Cool.
I doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, hand to hand isn't exactly close range, and so this guy's definitely hand to hand type proximity.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just try to take him out with a couple blunt attacks.
Yeah.
Which will count as 1.
Right,
obviously.
roll hack and slash.
Bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say that since this is hand to hand and you might not be used to hand, that
Yes.
the damage is the worst of 2 rolls. So,
Oh, okay.
not that it matters. He only has 1 hit point left. So
I can deal with that. 5 or 8. Oh, I'll take 5 damage on him.
he's dead. He gives a strangle, and his beaked helmet falls off. And he drops his sword as he collapses into a pitiful pile.
Right.
The goblin up here will gasp as he sees his companion die and rushes in, screaming, "Ah! You killed Bob!" And
oh, great. I assume those two kind of hear the commotion. But
yeah, they are going to at some point hear the commotion and start to come this way, wondering what the hell is going on.
Got it. Okay.
But you got a few minutes till they.
Yeah.
Got a little bit till they get here anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. One goblin down. Come here, goblin. Move away. One goblin next out.
All right.
One goblin still alive.
Yep.
And this goblin here will go into a frenzy. He'll grip his sword and start swinging it every which way. He hits the walls, he hits the ceiling, and he hits you.
Sparks
Bertok.
fly out of the
Yep.
duck. Bertok actually can defy danger due to his short stature. I keep forgetting he has that. He has a +1 to defy danger. Due to his small size.
You can try to defy danger.
So
yeah.
I would totally like to try to duck. Make that 6. He totally fails at defy danger.
Okay, you twist your ankle as you try to dodge, and several of the sword blows, big heavy sword blows, hit you, and it does the better of 1d8 + 2. That's 1.
Take disadvantage for him not being able to wield the sword. No. Ouch.
Alright, so it does
you
6 damage to you, Bertok.
Alright. No, he's okay. He has 2 armor, so 4 damage.
Alright. You're a tough little halfling.
I am.
Okay, Raffin, what's up with you here?
Raffin wants to clamber over the corpse of the dead goblin and thrust forward with his dagger at the live one in an attempt to either take him, just do straight damage, or at best push him over onto his back to where he will not be able to actually swing that sword anymore. So basically barrel in and...
Okay. Luckily, the goblin is panting from his efforts at swinging the sword so much. So you have... You are going to catch him by surprise, and...
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Roll.
Oops, not Clovis. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm doing good this time. Take 5 damage, little goblin.
How do we do? Oof. Okay. All right. All right. The your dagger will pierce through the plates of the goblin's armor, and he will just kind of stagger in exhaustion, kind of against the wall of the tunnel here.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll give a scream that alerts these guys that something horrible is happening to one of their friends, and they will rush towards the commotion.
Sure.
Okay. Bertok, what are you doing?
Bertok just came out of a firefight with a frenzied goblin, and so he's kind of going to have to take a moment to recover. Hopefully not too long, but he will pull himself free of... he's finding that the sword is no longer dangerously close to him. He will kind of skirt around the dead goblin and attempt to kind of squeeze... No, not him. He will attempt to kind of squeeze through and duck over in this direction. Between the live goblin and the dead, kind of jump over the dead one, assuming he's laying out of the door like he's positioned right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in his own frenzy...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead. I'm
Okay.
I'm jumping.
You notice that the banners are mounted onto spears, stuck into the floor.
Okay.
So you want to use that to your advantage.
Well, he will run into the first one, and I think it. I would hope it would not hope, but I would assume that it topples and just falls onto the ground. If it's not too stuck into something, if it's got a sconce or something.
No, it's just kind of resting against the wall.
Okay, I would assume it topples. He's not going to think about that right now, and instead pull back the flail and go after this goblin that's directly north of him. Just as with an overhand swing.
Okay.
What do I got? Not bad.
Oh, okay.
He could take 7.
Ooh. Is that with your ruthless? Completely forgot about that.
Ruthless? Oh, merciless? Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah, sorry, yeah,
I forgot merciless. Yeah, I can totally do another. Take another 1, so 8 damage total. Oh, I forgot you made my little macro for me.
I did, yes. Okay, so 8 damage. All right. Um, you will you will strike this goblin with such ferocity that it will spin around. Its sword will careen through the air.
Get this
Hit the
guy.
goblin behind it.
Nice. I
Yeah,
love it.
the goblin behind it. He will stagger in pain. He's got a slash on his face now.
Sure.
Um, and the goblin that you hit will be weaponless and also very, very bloody, um, almost staggering with the injury that you inflicted upon him,
Okay.
despite his armor.
Cool. Okay. I can deal with that.
Raffin, what do you do?
Raffin is.
You were tangling with the
Yeah, he's going to just.
the other guy.
Yeah, he's just gonna pull his arm back and go in for another stab. Just a simple,
Okay.
like a bad '80s horror movie where they. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, Raffin, another one. And he will
Ooh.
miss.
Ooh. Yeah, your blade is gonna skip off his armor and skitter to the side, unfortunately. Um, this goblin is not so injured that he can't attack back. So he's going to lift up his heavy sword and give you a slash. Raffin, poor Raffin. Ooh,
Ow.
ooh, ooh.
Raffin?
Do you have armor?
Yeah, he has one armor, but he is down.
He is really.
And Bertok is way too tangled with his own problems to be able to do an assist. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be down. Ouch. I need to do a death roll, right?
Yeah, you need to make a last breath.
Take 8. How does 8 look?
Okay. An 8 is. Alright. Raffin, you will feel the world fade from view as blackness claims you. In the blackness, you will see the tortured souls of the dead screaming in pain and moaning in agony as their unending suffering goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Death will appear before you, and he will say, "Well, Raffin, it's almost time for you to come to my realm." However, the the goblins have an artifact that I dearly treasure, and I don't believe they will put it to the best use that a more calculating and sadistic race would be able to.
Okay.
It is a black staff infused with bones of innocence.
Oh.
I will not claim you now if you are able to claim that staff from these black hand goblins within the next month.
Month. Month. Raffin's smart.
That's a month game time, not a month hour.
Right. Yeah, I figured that, and I'm thinking, wow, that's quite a long time to find this thing, which would definitely give him something to work on other than just following along and stabbing things when he can. Yeah, he'll think about it a while and say, I think a month is quite generous of you. I would agree to this. Even if... And what if I fail? He asks.
Then I will claim you.
I see. And if I die before then?
Yeah, then I'll send you back as an undead, whatever you are, human.
Oh, great. Well, great. Fine. Agreed. I can do this. I can stay alive and get this staff thing back for you.
Very well. He waves his hand, and your consciousness appears back in your body. You stabilize with, I guess 1 hit point or 0 hit points. I guess I'll give you 1 hit point back.
Take it and stabilize, or refuse and pass beyond black games. Okay. All right.
Whew, poor Raffin. Okay. Excuse me.
1. All right. I'm going to X me out. Just because I feel like I need to take a health potion or something before I do anything.
Until you recover. Yeah. Okay.
Just pulling from the D&D stabilize, you're now fainted instead of dead, and you have to get up in health points before you can stand up. That's how I seem to recall it working, but I don't remember.
We can go with that. That sounds good. All right. So, Mr. Bertok.
Bertok will
the goblin
not notice any of this, and instead, did you want to do something first?
No, I was just going to say that the goblin that finished off Raffin here is going to move away slightly and try to get his bearings on what else is going on here. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Bertok.
Bertok is going to turn. He's just going to keep swinging. He's going to go after that same goblin that was that he hit before, and in doing so, he will become quite frenzied at his own prowess for taking these guys out, and apply his scent of blood, which is another D4 of damage.
Ooh, true, man.
But let's see if he can actually hit the guy first. Bang.
jeez.
Okay, well,
That's not good. Yeah, yeah. Um, in your frenzy, you manage to not hit the target at all. Every swing goes just an inch wide of the staggering goblin here.
got it. 3 against 1. Okay, alright. What am I looking at health-wise? I could probably survive 1.
The goblin over here is gonna whip off his helmet and throw it at you, Bertok, because he doesn't have a ranged weapon.
Okay. Uh, is that like a rock throw or something? Whatever.
Well, he misses anyway, so okay. The helmet skitters off the wall and rolls to the east.
Bertok
And the
ducks.
goblin curses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
The goblin at the back here is gonna say, "Where did you come from, you little vermins? You're not one of the slaves, are you?"
At which Bertok yells, "Well, look, there's a tunnel right there. We came out of that." And he will, I don't know, he'll reach back to wind up for another swing.
Okay.
When suddenly his foot nudges the downed spear. His eyes will brighten, and he will kind of cast his glance around and pick it up, realizing that its reach is much further than a nice close hand weapon like his flail.
Okay.
And he will attempt, well, I don't know if he's allowed to yet, but he's going to when he gets his turn back to attempt to stab the same goblin in front of him.
You can pick it up and make a stab with it. Sure.
All right. Bertok, stab. Shove. Yay! Finally. And I'll take the extra 2d4 for the
for the
merciless
bloodlust and the
plus bloodlust. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Against the wow.
Yes. Considering that I already beamed him once, I assume he's probably gone.
Yeah, you're gonna pierce right through that goblin.
Any chance it would hit the one behind him? I'm not quite lined up. No, never mind. I'm not quite lined up to nick the guy behind him either. But it'd be fun.
Yeah, that's true. But that goblin is dead.
Okay.
He drops his sword dramatically and does like a spread eagle kind of thing as you pierce him.
Oh, I thought he'd do like the Star Trek Nemesis move where he grips the handle of the spear and nudges himself forward. Squelches forward on the spear handle. And then slumps. That would be fun.
These two goblins, noticing your longer reach, will kind of back up warily and kind of whisper to each other, "We still got him outnumbered." Yeah. But he's terribly strong.
At this point, Bertok's bloodlust will fade. You want to X that guy out. And then he'll look around and notice Raffin basically unconscious on the ground. At which point, Bertok will hop over the neck of this goblin at the same time swinging his spear around just to kind of keep the remaining two goblins at bay as he turns and applies a bandage to Raffin's wounds in order to try to heal him.
Okay.
I'm not sure what bandages do.
Bandages recover 6 hit points, but they are slow to use. So I'm not 100% sure in this situation. Okay, while you're distracted by trying to do the bandage,
Yes.
one of these goblins is going to take the initiative and try to run towards you and shove the spear out of the way with his sword and try to get closer
Okay.
than the spear. So while that's happening, you can try to make a hack and slash against that goblin while it's
I would actually
running
wonder
at
if
you.
it's more of a defy danger with, I don't know, quick thinking or endurance or something like that, just to hold the spear up while I'm not looking.
Okay,
Is that
quick
reasonable?
thinking, sure. That's great. Yeah, yep.
So an intelligence check to see if I can remember to keep this thing aloft. Intelligence. Oh, he's not that smart. He manages it.
You managed to, yep.
Okay.
All right.
However, does the
All right.
just thinking,
What's up?
does the goblin actually manage to bat the thing out of the way?
No, but he's going to actually hack the point of the spear off.
Oh.
So it still fends him off, but now you're fending them off with a stick rather than a spear.
Okay. All right.
So it's still long enough to shove them out of the way, or you can kind of bash them at a distance with it.
Right.
But the point is cut off. So Raffin can recover by 6 hit points from that bandage.
Oh, nice. So give him a total of 7. Remove his X. Give him a total of 7, I said. All right.
Great.
In which case he will...
Raffin's back in the game. Great.
He'll kind of groggily shake his head and open his eyes. What happened? Oh. He'll turn and say, hey, remind me, there's a staff or something in here, or somewhere that we have to recover. Don't forget to to remind me to tell you about that. Bertok nods, puts his things away, turns, and does the whole quarterstaff whirl thing to try to smack the goblin on the side of the head.
Okay, yeah.
Well, actually, does he notice that his spear point? No, he doesn't notice that his spear point is gone yet, and so he will immediately he will drop his supplies, his medical supplies, take the spear up in both hands, and just kind of jab the blunt end into the goblin. Maybe just shove him back. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, that goblin is gonna get pushed back and onto his back.
Okay.
That is prone. Prone symbol. Prone symbol. Oh well, snail symbol. Okay. All right. So, the goblin on the right looks somewhat injured. The goblin on the left looks somewhat injured. So,
All right.
so it's even odds again, 2 against 2.
Right.
Whew. Um,
Oh, I need to take Bertok's.
they are actually going to look somewhat hesitant about attacking you two again, despite their armor and their big swords.
Okay.
And they are going to kind of edge more towards the center of the room and just
Maestro
try to
will
keep an
pass that
eye
one.
on
Yeah, try to
what
take
you
a shot,
guys
but
are actually
it
up
goes
to.
wide. Here comes Devo off the backboard.
Okay, so
K-Dop does not make contact,
what
but
do you
very
guys
will
do?
bail him out.
Sorry. I just got annoyingly distracted by something.
Oh,
What do? Raffin, what are you doing? Raffin will kind of still a little bit stunned, a little bit not all there. Notice the heat of battle and sort of push himself up to his feet. Kind of flip his dagger, catch it on with the handle, and I would say he's going to go after the one that just fell over. Sort of scramble forward on his hands and knees and just go to just start stabbing away.
okay. Well, you just came back from death, so I guess that's... You're not quite back yet. Yeah.
Is the floor dirt? Is the floor? He wedges the blade of the floor or the dagger into the rocks on the floor. And then brings his hand
again,
up.
it's just gonna kind of skitter.
Okay.
It's just gonna kind of skitter off his armor and down into the stone floor. So, the goblin survives.
All right. Bertok pulls his spear back and looks at the tip with a kind of a surprised look in it. Immediately, he throws it aside, picks up his flail again, and rushes forward to hit the one on the right, bringing it down on the guy's helmet, hopefully. Or at least to the point at which he can reach on this guy. So.
These are short goblins. Oh my gosh. Okay.
They're racking up the experience, but not in a great way.
Man.
Not at the expense of getting killed. Yeah. Now Bertok can handle a lot.
All right. That goblin is going to sneer as you miss him entirely, Bertok, and then grip his sword firmly and start wailing it in all directions at you.
The skill level of these guys is not the best. Oh. Ooh, wait a minute. I want to get back to... I am going to mute that. Come back to here. Dang. Oh, you're back. Yes. Yes, you are.
Am I still here?
Yes, you
okay,
are.
great. Awesome. Okay, cool. So the goblin will grip his sword. His heavy cleaver start flailing it at you, Bertok, and manage to do 8 damage to you.
Ow. Okay.
And then he will pant in exhaustion because it's a very heavy sword.
Yeah. I like how he pants in exhaustion. It gives me an advantage to kind of go after him while he's doing so.
Right.
Yeah. Are you letting me have another one? Another go at him?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Same guy, same move.
Okay. Whew. Okay. Finally.
That was a really good one, too.
Yeah.
Alright. So, D10 plus 2D4. Do I get the same bloodlust from trying to go after the same guy, or?
You didn't hit him last time, so I don't think so.
When you hack and slash an enemy, your next attack against the same foe. Okay, so no, I didn't actually hack and slash him. I missed. That's my interpretation anyway. Oops.
Yep.
Sorry. Just subtract 1 from that.
Okay.
It's actually 9 damage on him.
Yeah. So that blow will crush through his armor, and he will gasp blood and crumple to the floor. His sword will fall from his hand, and this goblin here will perish.
I can't believe I'm happy about this. Alright.
Alright, Raffin, give it another go here. This goblin has been scrambled to his feet by now. So he is not prone anymore. But he's not dead. Not yet. Okay. Raffin, you have a goblin standing over you. Bertok just took down the other goblin. This is the last goblin standing.
Right. Yeah. Another stab at this guy.
Okay.
It seems to be all I can really, other than retreating, which I'm not going to do.
Wow.
Doing great.
Okay. You try to stab his leg, but it turns into like a weird fumble. So yeah, the goblin will look down at you, Raffin, very disgustedly, and punch you in the face.
Yeah.
He will not do it with his sword, but yeah, for 2 damage.
I can't handle that. No, I can, but... Alright. Yeah. And then...
Alright. Okay, the goblin is going to notice that all his companions have been slain, so he's going to actually try to run away.
Okay.
Halfling scum!
Yeah, this halfling scum. I think he's pretty dead already. Not completely, but really close to being. Bertok will take up chase.
Okay.
Does he catch up?
Roll plus dexterity. Alright, yeah, you managed to catch up to that guy. What do you want to do to him?
Wrap the flail around his torso and pull.
Okay. Okay.
Another perfect roll.
That will succeed.
With and let me add 1d4, so 5 damage on him.
Alright. That will severely injure this goblin. He will land at your feet, Bertok, still barely alive. And it doesn't even seem like he can get up at this point. He's so battered.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. 4 damage plus 1. Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, no. He's. I forgot he had armor. He's still a bit alive, but he's at your feet, and he's glaring up at you, and he says, "Why are you here? Why are you attacking us? We will get you. We have a whole fortress of goblins here."
At which point, Raffin, seeing that Bertok is quite capable by himself, will go over and start to rifle through this guy's belongings to find things of value.
All right. Two seconds. I gotta pull up my treasure table. Okay. Well, at the very least, he finds the sword that the goblin was using, and his armor that is, well, it would be slightly small for Raffin,
Right.
but he might be able to squeeze into it.
It's not worth it. He's already got his own leather armor.
All right.
And so and if it's not going to give him any more advantage value-wise, then it's probably not worth trying anything. So he comes up.
It does look like fairly heavy and robust armor.
So that would be pretty funny if he were walking around with a tiny little.
Other than that, the goblin has a dagger and what all that. All right. You will find on that goblin a glowing glass orb that can be used as a minor light source.
I'm totally pocketing this.
Okay, cool. And it's 0 weight, so yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. I'm definitely pocketing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you want to grab the sword?
No. Well, no.
Okay.
He's got his short sword. Does it do any better damage than a short sword would? Right now he's at 1d8 with his daggers and his little short sword that he got.
Right. For Raffin, this is going to be kind of a medium-sized sword. It's big for a goblin, but kind of on the medium size for Raffin.
Right.
Based on its heaviness, though, and the way that the goblins were using it, you can frenzy with this sword. And if you do that, you get the advantage on the hack and slash, and the advantage on the damage.
Yeah, I'm totally onto that.
But next round, you have to be weary and
I see.
yeah. It's a very heavy sword.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I'll... Honestly, I think I'll leave it. It's...
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying
All
to...
right.
Because I have to drop something in order to pick this guy up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not able to hold much.
Yep. Okay. The goblin at the 5th foot of Bertok will kind of try to crawl away, hoping to be unnoticed.
Yeah, Bertok seats himself atop the goblin, and he snarls, "This is revenge for my village. That's why we are here. We don't care that your fortress is full of the rest of your lot." And raise up his flail, bring it down on his face.
Oh my God.
Go ahead and respond if you want.
You'll never escape out of here alive. And at that point, the flail connects with his face. I don't see any possible. I don't see any possible way you could miss this goblin. So if you just want to roll damage, you can do that.
Sure. I see a way. I could just go to the side. Oops. But I will take your generosity
Jesus.
to the bank. And he will say, "Don't count on it." Crush. Skull fragments everywhere and a nice big splat
Yep.
on the ground.
Yep. The helmet crumples onto a flat sheet on the floor.
It's a two-dimensional goblin head.
Yeah. Length and width, yeah. Raffin, you see the goblin's head smush into a plane. Alright, cool. You guys managed to defeat that group of goblins. Very good.
Raffin will call Bertok over and say, "Hey, want this sword?" And Bertok comes up and examines it. Actually, yeah, that might be kind of nice for Bertok to have.
Yeah.
Because having just the flail is not really the best ever. So
yeah, and I'm going to say that as long as you have the flail in your possession, you can use other weapons with the same ferocity and bloodlust and so forth.
Right. Okay.
You might not get the +1 damage that's on the flail.
Right. Do I have
you're
a +1 on the
warrior.
flail?
At one point, I think you had a +1 damage on the flail.
Oh, I did. I did this whole time. I keep forgetting this, and that's what I don't like about the automated thing of the character sheet, is I keep hitting character sheet buttons, and it just assumes that it's straight rolls.
Right.
Alright, I might have to look into macros again at a different time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he will totally pick up the goblin sword.
Okay, great.
It is medium and unwieldy. Can frenzy, but take cooldown.
Yep.
And 2 weight, 1 weight.
2. It's pretty heavy.
Got it.
Cool. All right. You guys want to take a look at the other goblin pouches or bodies or whatever?
Raffin will. He will come over to this one north of the one that's splattered. Bertok,
Okay.
he's kind of squeamish about that kind of thing. Just slightly. He's like, fresh? Man. You didn't leave much of him to go through. And he'll kind of just run his fingers through pockets and over underneath flaps of clothing to try to find interesting things.
Yep, this goblin has only a... This goblin was pretty poor.
That's sad.
He only had 2 gold on him, so...
Okay. $407 coins. Bertok kind of managing to get a hold of his brain at long last. Wants to go over and examine this statue thing on the other side of the room. He calls back to Raffin and says, "Hey, you keep watch. All these entrances look like they're totally valid entrances that anybody could come through at any time. So don't let us get taken by surprise." At which Raffin's like, "Yeah, it's easy. I can manage that." Because he instantly applies his shoot first move, which is you never are caught by surprise.
Haha.
Which means he will nudge up against this wall. Oops, I just
Sorry,
completely...
Raffin. Sorry. I didn't think that included you.
It's okay.
I was trying to clean up the goblins, but I think I...
Control Z.
I tried that. Didn't work.
Huh.
Alright, there we go.
Alright, he will nudge up against this wall and just kind of hang out. Loiter.
Alright.
While keeping a wary watch. As Bertok goes over the statue in great detail.
Yeah. The statue is a giant spider that looks to be carved out of one entire piece of stone.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it stood the ravages of time. There's very few signs of marring on it. And curiously, it looks like the very front mandibles can be manipulated from their closed and curled position.
Oh, cool. He will actually fearlessly operate those. Does it do anything? He's just pull them open and see if he can make it do anything.
All right. That will. The mandibles will creak open, revealing a mouth on this spider statue that will immediately start to drip saliva. And all of the gems on all of the entryways will suddenly flare with light.
And Raffin will, "Hey, look around." Bertok's like, "What?" And he turns and sees every gem next to every door glowing. Oh, what did I do? Immediately. Go ahead. It's your.
Yep. And every passageway will start to fill with a glowing purple mist. Here's what's happening.
Seeing this saliva, Bertok backs up to this wall, reaches behind himself, and grabs the spear, and then with the spear, trots back over to about this position, lines it up, and starts to try to just kind of shove it in.
Okay. As you shove the spear in, something will bite it off.
He pulls up the broken end and
And
he will
a
go in.
voice will echo. A voice will echo in your head, Bertok. I want flesh. You're going to feed me something. Feed me flesh.
At which point he will run over to this spear, grab it, run back, and very hard and very fast shove it in before it can be bitten off, seeing how deep he can go.
The more you push the spear in, the more of it gets broken off and consumed. So you can push the whole spear in, and it will be broken up and consumed. Will hear very. Sorry.
Go ahead.
You will hear very, very faintly shouts of confusion as people in the fortress notice the lit gems and faintly the scampering of terrified feet in the corridors. Okay.
Missed. Bertok, seeing that this endeavor of impaling whatever consciousness is inside of this statue, he will notice that this is kind of pointless. I would assume the purple mist is starting to fill up in here as well.
The purple mist is actually confined to the corridors. They don't seem to enroach beyond the entryways with the glowing purple gems.
Okay.
Blazing on top of them.
Bertok kind of scampers over here, skitters on the gravel, and notices that the way we came in is not exactly accessible except by running through this mist, which he's not about to do. So he will kind of back up and back up next to Raffin and say, "We've got to escape, but all the entrances are blocked." Raffin's like, "No kidding. You think you could have left that thing alone and we'd be okay?"
Bertok, can you make a discern realities, Bertok?
Yes.
Okay. Never mind. Okay. Out of the way you guys actually entered this room, the passageway that you guys believe led to the treasure room, a crowd of tattered and starved-looking people will rush out in confusion, which I don't have a token for a confused horde of people. But
that's okay.
But what's happening? They'll shout and cling to each other fearfully. Who activated that? What's happening?
Shorty activated the spider. Raffin sneers, and he'll push Bertok forward, and Bertok will kind of stumble, but be like, "Yeah, that was totally me." kind of sheepish. Yeah, that's basically it, and he'll kind of back up against the wall, and Raffin will. I don't know. That's basically all I can think of right at this point.
Okay. The crowd of starved and tattered humans and salamandrins and a few gnomes will peer over at you guys in utter confusion. And one of the braver of them will step to the front and ask you guys, what are you guys doing here? We've never seen you before, and you're not a goblin. What are you here for?
We are here for treasure, and Bertok will kick Raffin in the ankle, and Raffin will be like, we're here for revenge, not treasure. At which point Bertok steps forward and he's like, yes, I'm here for revenge on these goblins. They killed my entire family and the village that I lived in long ago. And he immediately starts going into the story, being one who reiterates his story and just kind of milks the woe is me persona quite well. Right. At which point Raffin kicks him back in the ankle and says, we don't need to hear it again. And then Raffin also straightens up and says, oh, and I'm totally after a staff, if you've seen it. Have you seen it? It's quite prominent among these particular goblins.
They will shake their heads in confusion at what you're talking about. They will be sympathetic to Bertok's long-winded story of his family's massacre.
Right.
But will not have heard of one of them actually will have heard of the staff, a staff matching the description that Raffin vaguely gives.
Mm-hmm.
And he will say that a sorcerer suddenly appeared in our camp one day. I think he got lost, from what the guards said. And seeing that it was hopeless to fight since he was in the middle of the camp, he surrendered his items, and among those items was a black staff, according to the guard that was watching over the mines. Mm-hmm. They rotate guards, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what happened to the staff, but I believe they put the sorcerer in the prisons until they find out if he's useful for anything.
Okay. Well, there's not much. A prison, you say?
Yes, it was one of these corridors.
You just came out of the corridor, Bertok says. Do you know if if this fog is poisonous in any way? He'll glance warily at the spider statue, wondering if it's still alive or whatever. But doesn't see any movement, he doesn't think.
I've only seen this that's activated once. It's not poisonous, no, but it confuses the passageways. You can wander into one passageway and wind up somewhere different from where you thought it was going to go.
Oh, that's not terrible. We might find out where we're trying to go. And we might just happen upon the prisons if we need to find this sorcerer that is involved with the staff. I'm not thinking straight anymore. I'm bad at dialogue. Where did you guys come from? Raffin asks the people. If you say the corridors are jumbled, then where did you just come from?
We were in the mines, and we saw the gems flare, and then our guard ran off. So we tried to wander back to our sleeping quarters, and we ended up here in the main hall, which
because you came from
usually
you came from the exit, the place where we came from also, which is the very outside treasure room of the fortress, from which you can actually get out of the fortress entirely. But if we went...
Really?
But then Raffin will say, yeah, but the entrances are jumbled. So if we try to go back in there, we might just end up back where these people came from. It's probably a different exit out of here now, he says.
The slaves will notice that there's slain goblins on the floor, and will kind of look up at you guys very hopefully and say, did you kill these goblins? Is there a chance we can actually get away?
There is, Bertok says, starting to realize that the plight of these people is kind of dire, and that he probably would be best in helping them. Raffin doesn't really care any about these people in general, but Bertok, yeah, he's a little bit sympathetic based on his own background of stuff. And so he's like, yeah, you could totally, there is a chance that you can escape from here, he says. But first, if what you say is true and these hallways are mixed up, and we'll have a harder time finding out where we came from, let alone where you came from and other things. So I would imagine that we need to first figure out how to turn off this system, these gems of sorts.
At this point, you will hear voices and several goblins that have been wandering through these corridors helplessly have managed to come into the same room as you guys through the various exits.
Oh God!
They will see the prisoners or the slaves milling about, and the slaves will cower in fear at the return of goblin with big spears and armor and so forth that they can't hope to match.
Right.
And a particularly cruel voice will shout, "You've all earned your punishment now." And from the southeast, a very cruel-looking female goblin will wave her whip towards the slaves menacingly. Which one of you activated the defense?
None of the slaves respond. Raffin is like, he did? And Bertok will be like, kicking him in the shins again. Would you knock it off? He yells. But he won't fess up at all. He'll try to say, none of us activated it. It just turned on by itself. He bluffs.
Okay, make a charisma check. The lion.
Yeah.
Man, not bad. Okay.
Make all the good rolls when we're not fighting somebody.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, she's gonna at least not think it's you, but
Okay.
but going to go over here. She's going to grip the mandibles and force them back in to their closed position, and the the gems will gradually fade in brightness, and the purple mist will fade away into the
Non-purpleness.
portals.
Yeah. At this point, Raffin is going to make a run for it and sprint across the room and dive into the hole.
Okay. All right. There was a crowd of slaves there, though.
He will barrel into the
he-
slaves and knock a few aside and muscle his way
Okay.
past the rest and, I don't know, become hindered just slightly and not quite make it to the hole.
Yeah. Yeah. Bloodlash will say to this spear guard here to go chase after the human there. He will barrel through these slaves as well, but be slightly behind you, Raffin, so you have a head start. Bloodlash here, the cruel lady, will notice these slain guards here, and glare over at the slaves and say, you raise your hands against these guards, you're in for it now. There will be no breakfast and only one meal a day for you, and you'll have to work twice as hard. She flails her whip.
I love the punishments. Oh, okay. Well.
And one of you will tell me how that salamandrin managed to escape.
At which point Raffin will yell, which salamandrin? Noticing that this guard is coming at him, he will roughly manhandle one of the slaves nearest him and then just shove the slave forward toward the guard. Maybe impaling him, who cares?
Oh my God. Yes, that slave will stumble helplessly into the oncoming spear of the guard. The the guard will scowl and shout angrily at the man, but his spear will be entangled by the corpse of the poor slave, and he'll have to stop to pull it out. And so, yes, you managed to hinder the guard, Raffin.
Cool.
Okay.
As I remember, 3/4 of the way through to play to my alignment.
Right. Okay, Bertok.
Yeah.
What are you?
Bertok, seeing that Raffin has nearly made it to the exit, which, assuming the gems that faded, means that it will actually be the exit, he will rush through as well in an attempt to keep up with him, ignoring all the threats and all the shouting by Bloodlash.
Okay.
And he'll duck and weave through the crowd of slaves. Actually, he'll duck and weave through all the crowds of slaves. Yeah, in an attempt to.
Bloodlash will shout, "Don't let them escape! We need to know how they got here, what they're doing here, how they found out about our camp." So these guards will start chasing after you as well. Bloodlash will grab a metal, a banded metal orb from her belt and hurl it at you, Bertok. The bands of the orbs swivel as it comes at you and expands to your dimensions.
Cool.
And the orb engulfs you, Bertok, in its banded web, and the bands swivel shut, so you're trapped inside of it.
Wow. Ah, he yells and then crashes into the whatever grating of this portable prison, I guess.
Yep.
All right.
It's like a big hamster ball, sort of.
Yeah, got it. Is it enough of a magical item that it actually could shrink back down and go into Bloodlash's pocket again?
If you were not inside of it, yes, it could.
Oh, okay. So I don't shrink when it does.
No. It's still full size.
Okay.
It's still your size.
Well, Bertok crashes into the side of it, and it probably would roll a little bit, and so he'll realize that it still actually moves around, and immediately starts to push against the side, then backs up and rushes against it again, and nudges it forward, and tries rolling it toward the entrance of this exit, of this escape. Raffin sees that's pretty brilliant, and he immediately starts assisting, runs up and pushes on it and starts rolling it. He's like, "Ha, we got your thing!" It's whoa, he yells.
Okay. Bertok, make a strength. Whoa.
All right. Kind of works, yeah.
Okay. You'll manage to get it rolling. It'll bounce off the corridor here.
At
And
which he'll do the
Bloodlash
head
will be
over
totally
heels.
dumbfounded. Yeah. The guard will. The guard, after a moment,
Oh, Raffin's trying to push along
will.
too.
Yeah. Okay. The guards here are actually, not that you can see this, but the guards here are going to start shoving the slaves back to their accustomed quarters in the mines and their sleeping quarters. So,
Okay.
and Bloodlash herself will. Okay, you don't know what she's up to. Okay. All right. Bertok, Raffin. Bertok is in a steel ball, essentially. Raffin, you're pushing the steel ball
Yeah, and we're both just
down the corridor.
trundling down the corridor. Roll,
Yep.
roll, roll.
Okay. Wow.
And they crash into this room
Alright.
and immediately roll over atop the disguised mimic with a clatter of gems and I don't know what other sounds. Bounce off this wall. Oh, I have to do the bouncy thing. Bounce. 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 And immediately down this corridor.
Oh no. Really? You want to go down that way?
Just a little ways. Unless there's something to stop me.
No, there's nothing to stop you.
Raffin's like, come back! Oh god.
There we go.
What?
I think the passageway kind of slopes upwards at this point, so
Alright.
you'd eventually come to a stop somewhere in this corridor. Okay, cool. The mimic pile will be all squished out by your passage, but
Oh, great.
so yeah. So eventually there'll be two smaller piles of gold down there.
Oh, fun.
Okay, cool. So Bertok and Raffin, yeah, Bertok's in a steel ball here. Raffin, you are free. Okay, what do you guys do from here? So the goblins know there's someone that shouldn't be in their fortress in their fortress.
Yeah. I'm saying I really want to shore up the doorway where we came from. Bertok is stuck. There's no way he's going to get out of this hallway now. Because of that low spot. He tries in vain to push himself up either direction. Raffin rushes down. He's like, you okay? Don't worry, I'll block the entrance. And he gets behind this steel chest right here and starts pushing it toward the door.
Okay.
Is there a door here, or is it just an opening?
It's just an opening, yeah.
Alright. Well, he pushes the chest in front of the opening and then ducks down behind it.
Okay. Alright.
And then he thinks better of it, grabs the chest, and drags it over to the fireplace. Jumps into the fireplace and pulls the chest up to cover it. If that's legal. I might be kind of going crazy here, so feel free.
I'm confused about what you're trying to accomplish.
He's trying to cover the entrance of the fireplace up with the chest so that he can make the fireplace into a hiding spot.
For himself.
Yeah.
Okay. You can do that, sure. Okay. Um. You will hear. As soon as I can move here, hang on. Okay. You'll hear movement in the corridor that you guys just came down, and Bloodlash herself will enter the room, peering around warily. Um, da, ba, da, ba, da, ba, da. And you will also hear the ancient mechanism of the portcullis start to raise up the portcullis with a grind of rust and
Which portcullis?
torture.
Which portcullis? The
Yeah, sorry.
the one in this.
The
The two swinging doors. I see
Yeah.
it. I see it. Okay.
yep. Okay. Okay, Bertok. What do you do here? You're in a steel ball that is stuck at the moment.
At this point, he gets his brain back in working order and will start searching around the confines of this thing to try to find any sort of mechanism that will release him.
Okay. Make a discern realities on that.
And finds nothing. He's kind of frenzied. His brain is still not completely working because he's very stressed out. Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, he finds nothing. Yeah.
All right. Bloodlash will peer around, notice some of the destruction that's happened in the room, and not seeing the ball will start to look up this corridor here and see you stuck there, Bertok. And she will she will touch the sphere in a particular spot and say release, and the bands of the orb will rotate and swivel back so that you can fall out onto the floor in front of her.
Can I see this happening in enough advance? Do I have enough of an advanced sense of this happening that I could possibly retaliate very fast?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
Because I totally have this new goblin sword that I could just basically, as the bands are unfolding around me and opening outward, I want to, this might require a dexterity check as well, but I want to leap forward as soon as they're clear and make a lunge at
Let's
her.
make a dexterity and then a frenzied hack and slash. Yep.
Bertok. Dexterity.
Okay, that will succeed.
And then stab. Miss.
Oh my god. Oh well, if you're in a frenzy with the sword, you get advantage on your
Oh,
attack.
how about 11?
And wow, okay, that will hit. And let me think real quick. Um, roll. You can roll for damage.
All right.
Okay. Okay. You are going to, with your frenzied slashing, manage to hack off her right arm. She's going to be heavily damaged and surprised by this. And your attack will be so fearsome that she will not be able to retaliate at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so one arm is on the floor. She's bleeding profusely from that stump. She shrieks in agony and says, "How dare you! The Dark One will avenge me!" And but just reaches over to clutch the stump of her arm for the moment,
Okay.
because she's staggered by your attack.
All right.
Okay. Raffin, do you want to do anything?
Nope. Raffin's a cowardly little coward. And so he will remain hidden inside his little fireplace thing. Maybe peek out of a crack made by the fireplace and the treasure chest. Remind me again the mimic.
Okay.
Remind me again the mimic. Is it still alive? Or did we kill it?
Yes.
Okay.
The mimic is still alive,
Remind me again.
but now it's divided up into two piles. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I were to take one coin from the pile, could I throw it at Bloodlash? And then make 3 mimics? Or is that not how they work?
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to sick the mimic on Bloodlash. I'm trying to get it to go after her. I'm not sure how I would do that except by saying, "Oh, she totally touched it, but here, a coin touches her." But if it's not actually divisible.
Yeah, the mimic itself is not very active hunter.
Okay.
You could somehow get Bloodlash to stumble into the mimic, at which point it would attack her.
All right. I think that's a too far fetched of an idea. And so he'll think about that, but say, it's not gonna work.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just stay hidden. Maybe break open a flask of whatever and start drinking.
Gosh.
Does it heal him any?
Okay. No.
Okay.
Flask of like water and
no flask like
you
liquor.
could apply another bandage while you're in there.
I'm thinking that, yeah. He'll examine the one bandage and be like, "Yeah, it's still bleeding. I'm gonna fix this up." And he tears it off and winces and wraps the bandage around his arm again, or around his wounded bits.
All right. Okay, Bertok, I think you can be recovered from your wounds by your frenzied hacking and slashing now. Behind you, the metal ball sphere will collapse into a pocketable dimension again. Now that you're free of it.
Nice.
And Bloodlash will be
Go ahead. Bloodlash is what?
And Bloodlash will be staring at you with hate-filled, glowing eyes as she tries to stop the bleeding of her arm this time.
At which point, Bertok pulls back with the sword and comes in from the side to behead her.
Ooh, okay. That will succeed.
For 5 little measly damages.
Five damage. Okay. 5, 5, 4, 3. Alright, you're going to slash her neck. And it is almost going to kill her. She's down on one knee, clutching her neck now because that's bleeding heavily.
Why can't I make it clean?
And she will growl in pain and whisper a plea to the Dark One, and Bertok, you will again feel the phantom chains of a dark cloaked figure wrap around you, holding you in place.
I will struggle and strain and try to escape them.
Okay.
And rest my mind.
What's that?
And just, yeah. It's just that. It's just...
Okay. You can make a wisdom defy danger, if you want to try to break the illusion of these chains. Well, it's not an illusion, but...
Wisdom 7. How's 7 look?
Okay, that looks lovely. Too many pieces of paper here. Okay, by the time you manage to convince yourself that this is a illusion and that the chains are not real, Bloodlash has taken the time to murmur another prayer to her Dark One deity, and the horrible wound on her neck will have closed over.
Okay.
Nothing judges from.
At which point he will shake his head, pull back his sword, and come in from the other side to try to redo that. Come on, let's make it a clean cut this time, he says. He snarls.
Okay. And damage?
10.
Wow.
There we go.
Yep. The head is going to bounce off the ceiling, plunk back down onto her body, and then she's going to slowly topple over. And
that visualization right there.
You're going to hear an otherworldly snarl as this cleric passes away, and her body lies limp and bloody on the floor.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he wants to pocket that little portable prison.
Okay, yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't push it to where it expands right in his hand. But, he will shove it in his pockets. Pick it up.
Okay.
Step over the dead corpse of Blood Lash. And yeah. Hop.
Raffin, do you want to do anything?
Raffin, he
sees...
Bertok
did...
Say again.
Bertok, did you want to pillage her corpse, or...
Oh, yes. No, but Raffin does. Raffin will push it open. Of course, Raffin is full up on equipment, so anything he finds, he will just pass it to Bertok, since Bertok can still carry a ton. He will push the chest out of the way, and kind of crawl out, stumble over, and start pillaging. Giving Bertok a nice double thumbs up. Good job, man.
There's... on her corpse, she will have a healing potion.
Yep.
And a vial of dark liquid that says drops of speak to dead on it.
Ooh. Okay. Take both of them.
Okay.
And pocket both, in fact. For now.
And they're both okay. Yep. They're both small, so you can they're 0 weight.
Oh, cool.
I had notes.
Bertok will hang on to both. Anyway.
Okay. Yep. All right.
And then I think at this point, they will confer for a moment, and Bertok will walk over to the fireplace. Actually, and then he'll call Raffin over. Hey, bring the corpse. Raffin grabs the leg of Bloodlash, and they both at the same time heft the corpse into the fireplace and light it. Because because my idea is we need a smoke signal, because that's a perfect place to go hide out for an end of session and rest and relaxation session move thing. Make camp. Let's make camp in the airship. So let's call our guy over. And she seems to be the most abundant fuel source in this room. I mean, metal is the other item. So.
Okay, you the body of the dead cleric smokes heavily. The smoke is drawn up the chimney / ear shaft. From the outside, the fortress looks like there's smoke coming out of one of the goblin's ears.
Yeah.
You two manage to clamber up the fireplace while the smoke is in your eyes and burning your mouth.
Gross. Goblin. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I had imagined
you hear
Mr. Airship guy actually dropping a rope down or something from like a gangplank, but
yeah,
these are all menial details. So.
You'll hear shouts of confusion and panic in the goblin camp as the airship hoves into view above the smoke signal. Somebody drops a rope ladder to you guys. You guys clamber up and...
Nearly suffocated once we get to the top.
Yeah, still on the smoke signal. Okay. You will happen to see that the whole goblin horde is actually staring at your airship in annoyance as it lifts someone up from their fortress and the catapults start to swivel towards your airship. Okay, and I guess we can leave off there.
Yeah. All right. Cliffhanger-ish type thing, too. I'm up for that.
Yeah. Wow, that was an intense session there.
Yes, I like it.
Man, you killed Bloodlash.
I hope that wasn't something that screwed you up.
I can adapt and.
Okay.
I was actually thinking that you guys might manage to get the horde of slaves to fight on your side here, but this is good too.
With Mr. Raffin being all evil too. And under the bus throwing, I can't justify him ever trying to elicit help from any sort of victimized person or creature. Not really.
Yeah.
He'd rather just use them as a shield. Human shield. Let's see how this went. Yes, you're back.
Good.
Yep, you're back. Your audio is a little bit choppy, but I think it's good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, with all those failed rolls, I'm sure there's a level here somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't exactly recall who rolled which failure. So, do you mind if I just add them up and like dole them out equally to the two of you?
Oh, I kept track. There was
Oh, okay.
there was 3 failed for Raffin and 2 failed for Bertok.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And those were the ones only in battle. I didn't count any of the other ones. Like Defy Dangers, I didn't really count because I'm not that picky.
Okay, that's fine. Bertok is level 4?
I haven't tracked from last week. But yes, he
Okay.
is.
Okay.
I need to still add from last week.
Right.
Let me go ahead and stop this stream.
Okay.
Just because